Annoyingly, it's just started to rain, so I'll do this very quickly. A couple of years ago I replaced the front brake master cylinder because the original Girling ones are a bit woolly. The downside of that is that all the handlebar electrics are connected to the relevant controls. So on the brake side we had little things like high-low beam, ignition cut-off, etc. I ended up fitting one of these cheap Chinese units as a get me through, see how we get on. I don't like it, but I've actually discovered this little unit which is off a Honda C90. So what we'll have to do is chop this down a little bit to make it fit, chop the boss off, sort the electrics out. I've spent 10 minutes with a digital multimeter working out which wire is which, so I now know what does the high-low beam, the indicators and the horn. I will have to extend the wiring, so I will use a wiring from the crappy Chinese switch that I'm currently using. So first thing we'll do, we'll get the boss chopped off, get the aluminium dressed up, and we'll go from there. To say the casting on this part is shit is an understatement. I've spent about 15 minutes dressing that in now with rough files. I will start with the needle files now, trying to get some basic shape and a bit of finish into it. So, see you in a bit. Right, I've had the needle files on it, got some shape back into it, got rid of most of the big scouring, so now on with a bit of emery paper, working down the grades to try and get a decent sort of finish on it. So, being at it with the emery paper, got a lot of shape back into it and a lot of the major scars. What we'll do now, we'll get it on the polishing wheel and see how well it comes up. Right, it's been on the buffing wheel. You can see I need some finer grit paper just to get rid of those micro scratches that are in there, but to be honest, got the shape into it, looks okay. So I think the next thing we need to do is extend the cables. So I'll get the old bar controls off and we use a wiring from that to extend the cables on this one. Right, now I need to extend the cables. As with everything in life, not all the bloody colour schemes match on any sort of switchgear you buy now, so I'm going to have to mix and match. I'll try and keep it as generic as I can. I won't go through the whole process because I don't want to bore you with it, because I'm boring you enough already. But what I tend to do is twist, so we get it like that, so they hold. Soldering iron with a bit of solder, get it warm and just help it flood in, and that's it. That will hold. Not like getting it red hot and melting in the insulation stuff like some people do. I won't mention who they are, so I'll go through the rest of those, get them all jointed together, and then we'll get the heat shrink on. Right, so all that's left to do now, heat shrink everything up. Some of the more observant viewers may have also noticed that I've staggered the joins so it fits better in the loom. We'll get the rest of them done and we'll get the cover on. So with a bit of a faff, I've managed to get the outer sheath back over the cables. Where the join is, I've just stuck a little bit of heat shrink on as well to keep it all nice and tidy. So I'll get it fitted to the bike and then we'll look at getting the rest of it wired in. So I've got the switchgear mounted, the cable routed in down the bars and into the back of the headlight. What I now need to do is wire it in, but I've run out of Lucas bullet connectors, so I've had to order some. So it's going to be a couple of days for me. See you in a few seconds.
The next day.
And I'm back. Been about a day for me, for waiting for my Lucas connectors to turn up. Storm Eunice is kicking off in the background, so it might get a little bit noisy. Right, so with the Lucas bullet connectors, they will only fit in the crimp one way round. They won't fit in that way. They will fit in that way, and that puts the crimp at the correct depth for the tool. Insert your cable fully, give it a nice crimp. So it goes fully through its cycle. A little bit left out the end. All we do with that is simply snip it off. Always make them a little bit longer so you know you've got the right amount of cable in there. That is that crimped up. So I'll get the rest done and then we'll start wiring up. Right, that's all of them ends crimped on. I've worked out roughly what colours I need to go where. So we'll make a start. We'll do the horn first, we'll get that wired in and then I'll get the rest connected up. So my supply for my horn is a white normally, and the bike, which will be one of these. So we'll unplug that one. I'm using the black from the new Switch. Just push that into there. And use my tool just to push everything home. And we just crack on like that. Okay, I've got everything wired in. I've tidied up some wiring in the headlight as well because we all love a bit of headlight wiring management. Let's give it a test and see if it works. That'll do. So there we go, that's that one finished off. A lot more in keeping with the bike. I know it'll upset a few purists, but to be honest, I don't really care. This is an improvement. You know, I've got better braking now and I've got an easy light control on the left hand side. So thanks for watching.